What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. We are officially into hot stove season for Major League Baseball and the St. Louis Cardinals. Been a while since I jumped on camera to do a video, and I thought, hey, let's talk a little ball. Let's talk a little Cardinals. We've got some news. You have the John Mozeliak prudent spending comments. We've already talked about that a lot. You can check it out in the past videos. But today, I saw this article on MLB.com, and you see a lot of stuff like this time of year. And it's just people, it's just folks predicting where they think the top free agents are going to go. And to me, look, if you're right on a lot of these, that's great. But this is what the hot stove is all about. It's about the fun of wondering where guys might go, predicting where guys may go. You're right, you're wrong on some, but this is the fun of it. So let's go ahead and check out this article because I thought it was pretty interesting. This is MLB.com. It is by Manny Randhawa. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but it's at Manny on MLB on Twitter, so check him out. Predicting where the top free agents will sign is the headline of this article. You guessed it. Who's the top guy? The number one pitcher, position player, both, although he's probably not going to be a pitcher for a while with his second Tommy John. It is Shohei Ohtani. So in this article, this gentleman is just predicting where he thinks these guys are going to go. And then he also mentions at the bottom other teams receiving votes, meaning other teams that are interested. So Shohei Ohtani, it's not to the Cardinals, folks. It is to the Los Angeles Dodgers, is a prediction from Manny Randhawa, if I pronounced that correctly. Other teams receiving votes, meaning they're interested in Ohtani: Giants, Mariners, Angels, Red Sox, Rangers, Mets, Yankees. You expect most of those. Look, I don't think anybody expected the Cardinals to be involved with Shohei Ohtani. We know it's going to be a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, what are we talking? Before the injury, folks were thinking 500 million, 600 million, whatever it is. I don't know what it's going to be now. Can he come back and pitch after one season? So we'll see. I think you guys are going to like this next one, though. The next guy, and I think he's ranking these in terms of the best on down, is Blake Snell. You guessed it, to the Cardinals. And in the article, it says the margin here was razor thin, but our voters have Snell signing with the Cardinals, who narrowly edged the Dodgers in the balloting by a single vote. Okay, so by the way, as I'm reading this, you're understanding now that I'm just now understanding how they went about this process. Here's what happened. They asked, so this article by Manny Randhawa, they asked 58 MLB.com voters to weigh in. So these are actual votes from 58 MLB.com voters. So it's not just a guess here. It's actually folks that cover baseball and know baseball. See, that's why you always read the article before you do the video, Charlie, you dum-dum. So anyway, Ohtani to the Dodgers. So Blake Snell to the Cardinals, just edging out the Dodgers, according to the MLB.com voters. They also have, so Dodgers, Giants, Mets, Padres, Red Sox, Mariners, Rangers, Cubs, Yankees, D-backs, Orioles, and Phillies in on Blake Snell. What do you guys think of that? Blake Snell, I think Blake Snell, of all the free agent pitchers, and I'm not including Ohtani, I think he has the most high-end talent. He also walks a ton of guys. Hasn't thrown a lot of innings until this year. We looked this up. I think this year it was 188 or so. Last couple of years, something like 128. Double check me on that. I looked at that yesterday. So he's elite. He can strike out a lot of guys. Look at this, 32 starts, MLB best 2.25 ERA, a 31.5% strikeout rate. Also, though, walked an MLB high 99 batters, or 13.3% of the batters he faced. So strikes out a ton of guys, walks a ton of guys. Blake Snell, the lefty. What do you think about that? I saw another article recently that suggested, I think Blake Snell kind of up there with Jordan Montgomery and Aaron Nola. I think we're talking in the range of 5 years and 125 million. Maybe that's more so for Nola and Montgomery. Could Snell get an extra year? I got to check and see exactly how old Blake Snell is. I might as well do that right now for you, right? I mean, I'm here. It's easy information to find. So Blake Snell, he's 6'4", 225. He is 30. He'll be 31 on December 4th. So coming up here in about a month or so. So he'll turn 31. So from an age standpoint, trying to compare him to some of the other guys we're looking at. So basically the same age as Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery will be 31 in December, about a month after Blake Snell. And then Aaron Nola. Let's look up Aaron Nola too. These are the guys that a lot of Cardinals fans are looking after that are all kind of in the same bucket price-wise. Aaron Nola, yeah, essentially the same-ish age. He is 30. He'll be 31 next June. So a little bit younger, but basically all these guys are going to be 31 in essence for next year's season. So again, I think all those guys are going to get a similar contract, probably somewhere in the vicinity of 5 years and $125 million, but maybe a team goes crazy and gives them 6 years. We shall see. So back to our article though. So what are you liking? You liking Blake Snell? Okay, and this is pitchers and position players. We know the Cardinals are mostly focused on pitchers, but I'm just going to read all these to you because I think it's fun. Cody Bellinger, MLB.com voters, writers have him going to the New York Yankees, and the Cubs as the team finishing in second. So you got to think the Cubs will make a play for Cody Bellinger. We'll see what happens. Can he stay with the Cubs? Will he go to a team like the Yankees? And Giants, Mets, Red Sox, Mariners, Braves, Blue Jays also receiving votes in this particular article from MLB.com. All right, relief pitcher, Josh Hader. How about Josh Hader going to the Rangers is the voting prediction. Other teams receiving votes: Phillies, Yankees, Padres, Angels, Red Sox, Mariners, Braves, Brewers, Cubs, Dodgers, Giants, Orioles, Rockies, Astros. No Cardinals there. We expect that. Cardinals aren't going to go after a huge ticket reliever like Josh Hader. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but we know they're not going to. They do need to step up and fix the bullpen with a couple arms, but I think it's going to be on the lower end of the salary totem pole. So here now is Aaron Nola. In this particular article, the voters have Aaron Nola staying with the Philadelphia Phillies. Look at this, though. Other teams receiving votes. Cardinals were the first team receiving votes, meaning it's probably going to come down to, according to these folks, Phillies or Cardinals. And the other teams interested or receiving votes: Red Sox, Dodgers, Padres, Cubs, Mets, Orioles, Angels, Rangers, Twins, Yankees. You're seeing the same teams. Look, there's a group of 10 teams that need one or two starting pitchers. You're going to be competing with these same teams for all these guys. I think that's interesting, though. So this particular group of voters have the Cardinals getting Blake Snell, but finishing just in second to try to get Aaron Nola, which makes sense. So they're probably going to get one of those guys, you would hope, if it's either Snell, Nola, or a Jordan Montgomery type. And I'm sure we're going to get to Jordan Montgomery. But first, Eduardo Rodriguez staying put with the Tigers, according to these voters. Other teams receiving votes: Orioles, Red Sox. There are the St. Louis Cardinals. Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Reds, Giants, Braves, Dodgers, Mariners, Marlins, Nationals, Padres, Pirates, Rays, Twins. What do you think about that? I feel like we don't hear as much about Eduardo Rodriguez. I hear a lot about, when I say the big three, I'm not even counting Ohtani. He's a unicorn. I'm talking about guys the Cardinals may go after. I don't feel like I hear a ton of Eduardo Rodriguez. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but that bucket under Ohtani to me is Snell, it's Nola, and it's Jordan Montgomery. And Sonny Gray, I think, is a different conversation. He's older. I believe he just turned 34 years old. His money's going to look different. Let me just triple check this, because I've realized lately I have a terrible memory. I think I know things and I remember things correctly, and I don't. This gets back to that Roger Clemens misremembering. I used to make fun of him for that, but now I misremember things all the time. So Sonny Gray just turned 34, yesterday? November 7th? What day is it today? It's November 8th. So Sonny Gray turned 34 yesterday. Makes sense why he's probably going to get more like a 3-year deal, somewhere in the vicinity of $60 million. We shall see. Moving along. Look at that. Sonny Gray is the next guy. Sonny Gray signing with the Twins, according to this MLB.com prediction vote. Other teams receiving votes. This is interesting. Cardinals were the first team mentioned, along with the Braves, Orioles, Mets, Angels, Astros, Reds, Giants, Dodgers, Cubs, Brewers, and White Sox. I think that's interesting right there. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't know exactly how they did this voting. It was 58 folks voting, but they have the Cardinals in this particular article getting Blake Snell, but finishing second for Aaron Nola and Sonny Gray. Look, you got to think the Cardinals are going to be interested in all three of these guys, along with, you would think, Jordan Montgomery, and they're probably going to get one, maybe try to sign another guy, and that player goes somewhere else, and the Cardinals settle for whoever it is, Sonny Gray, or if they want Blake Snell and they settle for Aaron Nola, or whoever it is, Jordan Montgomery, which is the next guy. Jordan Montgomery re-signing with the Rangers, according to these voters here. The big lefty who was very successful in his time with the Cardinals, had that great run with the Rangers, won a World Series. You got to think if the Rangers want to keep him there and give him the money, he did so well there. They won a World Series. I mean, they got Jacob deGrom coming back after he was hurt. Other teams receiving votes: Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, Mets, Cubs, Cardinals, Orioles, Angels, Braves, Giants, Phillies, Rays, Tigers for Jordan Montgomery. The thing I like about Jordan Montgomery is that we've seen him pitch well here, right? We've seen him pitch well for the St. Louis Cardinals. You don't have to worry about that. Now, you never know, but sometimes new environment, new pitching coach, whatever it is, coming from a different organization. We've seen Jordan Montgomery succeed for parts of 2 different seasons with the Cardinals. So I do think there's a little bit less of a risk with Jordan Montgomery. How about Yoshinobu Yamamoto? So I don't even know if these are in alphabetical order or what it is, because I do think Yamamoto is in another bucket above the Montgomery, Snell, Nola, slightly below the Ohtani, because he's just a pitcher. He's just a pitcher. He's not like Ohtani, who can hit bombs and pitch and come back from Tommy John and all that. So look, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I'm not going to act like I know a lot about this guy. I really don't. But this article has him going to the New York Metropolitans, with other teams receiving votes: Yankees, Giants, Dodgers, Red Sox, Mariners, Cubs, Padres, Cardinals. I like that the Cardinals were thrown in there at the end. However, I agree with them being at the end because I think this bucket is going to be the type of bucket that the Cardinals don't like to swim in. Look, the largest contract the Cardinals ever gave to a player that wasn't in their organization was Willson Contreras, 5 years, $87.5 million. So them jumping to a 5-year deal for a pitcher like Nola, Snell, Montgomery, 5 years, $125 million, I can definitely see that happening. I think they'll have to do that unless they pivot to Sonny Gray and a trade candidate. I just don't see the Cardinals, who are prudent, to use John Mozeliak's term this week that he told John Denton of MLB.com. Do you see the Cardinals, whose biggest deal was 5 years, $87.5 million for Willson Contreras? Do you see them going, oh, okay, now we're going to give out $210 million for Yamamoto? I just don't see that happening. I could be wrong. Don't see it happening. And also, I think some of these big market teams, Mets, Yankees, Giants, Dodgers, Red Sox, they're going to go big game fishing. And I don't think the Cardinals, even if they wanted Yamamoto, are they going to win that bid? Probably not. How about Jung-Hoo Lee? Not going to lie, never heard of this dude. 25-year-old outfielder. Korean baseball organization, hit 340, 407, 491 is his slash line. They have him going to the Giants. Cardinals are receiving votes. I would be shocked if the Cardinals got any type of significant position player this offseason, especially an outfielder. They need to figure out the outfielders they have. They have a ton of them. It's more about where are they going to play? Who's going to stay healthy? Could they move a Tyler O'Neill? But you got to think Jordan Walker is going to be in right. You got to think what Lars Nootbaar is getting a spot, whether that's center. Man, I feel like this is deja vu all over again. If we say we're going to give another chance to Dylan Carlson and Tyler O'Neill, one of these guys has to be traded. I think also if there's going to be a trade for a pitcher, somebody in that Logan Gilbert type situation, could that be an Edman who plays some center field? Could that be a Brendan Donovan who's your super utility man? We shall see. I don't know. I would be shocked if the Cardinals got a big ticket position player this offseason. And we'll just finish the article here. Matt Chapman to the Yankees. Of course, the Cardinals not interested. They have their own stud third baseman in Nolan Arenado. And that is the article right there. Again, that was from Mandy Randhawa, reporter for MLB.com. And that was voting based on 58 other writers for MLB.com. So I didn't read that at first. It was the predictions based on votes by 58 MLB.com voters. What do you guys think? So according to that prediction, they have the Cardinals signing Blake Snell and nobody else. And look, I can see that happening, whether it's Snell, Nola, Montgomery. Let's cut that number in half and bring it down to Sonny Gray. I do think they're going to get one of those four. That's my prediction right now. The Cardinals, this is November 8th, 2023. My prediction is the Cardinals sign one of four pitchers. This is not going out on a limb by any means. But they're going to sign either Snell, Montgomery, Nola, or Gray. And if you ask me right now, it's going to be Gray. Let's be real. That feels more Cardinals. Older pitcher, shorter term, probably 3 years. I think it's going to be Gray. They probably trade for the other young, controllable, good starting pitcher. And I think the last guy is somebody in that fifth starter bucket. I like to use the bucket terms. John Mozeliak uses that as well. But the fifth starter bucket is the Michael Wacha's of the world, the Kyle Hendricks of the world. Is Wade Miley, somebody of that ilk that they could get on a 1-year deal for 10, 12, whatever it is, $1 million. I think that's what they'll do. So if the Cardinals, and again, I'm going based on a lot of the comments he made to John Denton of MLB.com, but if they have $44 million to, let's say, $57 million to spend, let's say 20 goes to Sonny Gray. Let's say you trade for a pitcher, you bring him on, maybe he's arbitration or making $5 million, but you also probably trade away a guy, whether it's Donovan Edman, who's making a little bit of money. That's probably a wash. You sign that fifth starter. Let's just say it's $12 million right there. Let's just say it's $32 million between Sonny Gray and the fifth starter. Let's say it's $37 million if it ends up being Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, or Jordan Montgomery. That still leaves you with whatever the number is. Let's just say seven to 20-ish million, depending on what the Cardinals are going to do to clean up the bullpen. Maybe you get 2 bullpen arms. And again, I guess that allows you to go a little bigger. You could definitely sign a Snell, Montgomery, or Nola. And then you could probably sign a good fifth starter because you get a guy on a 2-year deal for something like, $30 million or $28 million. We shall see. But anyway, I thought it was fun to talk about. That was a good article by Manny Randhawa, MLB.com, compiling all the votes of the 58 MLB.com voters weighing in on the most coveted free agents of the 2023 into the 2024 season, this winter's market. All right, guys, I'm pretty much close to being done. I do want to give a shout out, though. First of all, I'm going to do more videos on camera. I've been super busy. I know you've heard this a lot, but the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel is just popping. And NASCAR season just ended. So I spend the majority of my time on the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel and the podcast network there, basically February till now. And now I'll have a ton of time, which is perfect because hot stove season starts for baseball. I'll really focus on a lot of baseball. Hopefully we talk more baseball on Hot Take Central. I try to post every baseball segment we talk. Bernie does a ton of baseball, so I'm posting these on the channel as well. Bernie Mickles does a great job covering Cardinals. And so does everybody on 590 The Fan, just so you know. Hot Take Central, Frank Cusimano, you got Kevin Slayton, you got Nate Lucas, you got Bernie, as I mentioned, Charlie Tuna late at night. It's a very good lineup at 590 The Fan. Members program here on the YouTube channel. You don't have to be a member, but we really appreciate it. It's great. You get the emojis, you get the video if you're a premium member. So shout out to Ken. It's Phelan, right? Ken Phelan. I asked him, how do you pronounce your last name? And I already forgot. But I believe it's Ken Phelan. Premium member on the channel. How about Gay or GEI2Z, medium member on the channel? Appreciate that. And then we have a bunch of basic members. But you're not basic. It's not like lesser. You're awesome. It's just called basic, okay? It's the tier of the membership. So that's Bird Chatter Baseball, Bobby the Handsome Guy Johnson, Charles Wagner, Michael Hawkins, Mother Goose, SMFR the podcast. That's my guy, Stevie Reed. Check out his podcast. And Bren Gillespie, who's the original member, along with Stevie Reed. Those guys have been members for 14 months now on the channel. So I think I've basically said it all that I have to say. I don't want to repeat myself too much because I said a lot of these things on Hot Take Central. If you watch the video that was posted, what's today? Today's Wednesday. So I believe this video we posted either yesterday or Monday. It was like an hour and 5 minutes. Really good conversation on the show. So I said all these things on the radio show, but I know YouTube is all about video, so I wanted to say it here as well. But the John Mozeliak comments didn't really bother me that much. Like, I didn't think they were going to have a huge increase in payroll. If they are going to, they shouldn't say it because that bit them in the ass last year when John Mozeliak said we're going to increase payroll, and then they didn't basically do it enough to fan standards, and the fans got all mad at him. So I didn't get mad when John Mozeliak said we're going to be prudent in terms of spending because, first of all, I expected that. Also, it's better to lie in the weeds. The Cardinals have been burned by things they've said, including John Mozeliak, in the past. To me, there's no value in telling people what you're going to do. Especially, don't say, hey, we're going sky high and then underperform. It's better to set the bar low and overperform. And also, I do feel like we've spent the better part of a full year fairly criticizing John Mozeliak for what he did and didn't do that helped create the worst Cardinals season in a generation here in this 2023 season. So we've spent the better part of the last, 9 months, whatever it is, bashing John Mozeliak and the Cardinals. I am not going to bash them again until they actually do what they're trying to do this winter, is what I'm saying. I'm not going to bash John Mozeliak for comments. I want to see what he actually does, okay? If he goes out there and he gets 2 front-end starters and a 5th starter and a couple bullpen pieces, I'll say, hey, that's what you need to do. Good job. I'm not going to base it on his comments to John Denton, although they were very interesting, and I understand why people are all going nuts on Twitter. I'm not going to be that guy. But again, that's part of the fun of the hot stove. Just complaining and Mo this and Bill DeWitt Jr. that and DeWallet and Bowtie and complaining about being cheap and frugal and prudent and all this. That's the fun of the hot stove, baby. All right. This video has already gone way longer than I expected, but it's cool. Hey, it's YouTube, man. You can put this in your ears on the way home. You can watch it. It's basically a podcast. We also are going to put these on podcast as well. Charlie Marlow show on podcast platforms, Spotify, and iTunes and all that. All right. I will now shut up. Thanks for watching. Please, if you haven't already, comment, like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And I always say, look, these videos are free. I know you got to watch ads, but if you like this channel, share it. Share it with somebody that you know that loves baseball or the Cardinals. Share it on social media. Try to get somebody else to subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the more people watching, the more videos I'm going to do. I'll do live chats. I'll do more on-camera videos if you guys are liking them. So, once again, thanks for watching. We'll see ya. Hot stove season, baby. Let's go. Charlie Marlow, out.